because I didn't know he was on the show today, but it's a pleasure to see him in the studio today, because back in December last year, history teacher Mike Race was searching for photos of air raid shelters where he played as a child in Lymington. He visited libraries and museums and put out an appeal, and sure enough, people started to get in touch with their photos and memories of the town. This led to Mike setting up a Facebook group, Lymington, A Slice of Life in the 50s and 60s, which has had huge interest, and now there are plans for a big reunion this weekend, and Mike Race is with us in the studio. And the reason I made that little remark about being a DJ is because when I was a boy, I wanted to be in broadcasting, but wasn't quite sure doing what. And I don't know how young I was, but I'm sure Mike will tell me. I rang him up and said, can I join your hospital radio team? And here he is today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the man who discovered me. That's a terrible claim to fame, Mike Race. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Julian.
I genuinely didn't know it was you today, because obviously people say, oh, they've only had him on because he knew. I sat in a meeting yesterday and they just said, there's a man who's having a reunion for people who live in Lymington. I said, oh, that's fine. And on we went to the next thing. Didn't know it was you until about an hour ago when I saw your neighbour. Oh, crikey. So are you well?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Good to see you. And the memories you're finding out about from Lymington, what are people saying on the Facebook page?
Lots of things, really. Memories come in from everywhere, far and wide, abroad, in this country, around the town, of things like Wellworthy's.
Now, Wellworthy's was a big factory and a big employer in the town.
Yeah, it was, yeah, very big. And, right across the range, really.
And is it just 50s and 60s, or some people trying to bend it a bit and go, well, I remember it in the 30s or the 90s, or are you focusing on that specifically?
We've had some fantastic photographs of the sort of 40s and 30s, but we're really sort of looking at the 50s and 60s when we grew up.
Right.
But it's massive.
And this party, is it a party or a reunion? What are you planning?
It's not a thing I set up. 5 of the members set this up, and I've sort of come in on the end of it, really. And, it's a big sort of party, I suppose. It starts off in the Literary Institute in New Street. We get a little name badge, and you can walk up the town and talk to people.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What's it say on the name badge? Just the name or something on top, like I lived in Lymington? Or
I think so, yeah. I think obviously the ladies will have their maiden name in brackets, hopefully.
Oh, yes, important. Isn't
it? Yeah, and then that will be going up to the King's Arms pub later on.
Right. And have you come across some names where you've gone, do you know what, I've not heard from her or him in all those years?
Yeah, school names from Priestlands, definitely. People I same class as me, really. It's amazing.
Good. And for you, I mentioned there the playing in the town around the old air raid shelters, and I've known you all these years, and you've never actually told me that story before, so this is the first time for me.
Yeah.
What are your memories of that, then?
They're at the top of Emsworth Road, and they all run the recreation ground up there.
Yeah.
And I used to get my bike and go up and down the mounds and all the way around, and then suddenly they disappeared. And couldn't find any pictures, and that's when I started the investigation, really.
And what have you found?
Well, went to the library, couldn't find any pictures, went to the museum, couldn't get any pictures there, so that's when I wrote the letter to the local paper.
Right.
And said to them, has anyone got any photographs? And someone phoned me up, who I knew, said, yep, I got some, come round and see me. Right. And I did, and it went from there. And so the idea was born really from that, and that's when I started the Facebook page last year.
And how many people are coming on Saturday, do you know?
We have 1,700 members, really? Which is incredible, because we thought we'd maybe get 100 at the most, but we were putting on 100 a week to start with. We estimate maybe a couple of hundred, maybe more. It's unknown. We don't know at all.
Who's doing the food?
People at the King's Arms.
So, Mike, if people are listening who are going, oh, I'd like to join in on that, I didn't know it existed, how can they get in touch? What's the name of the Facebook page?
Right, it's called Lymington.
Yes.
A Slice of Life in the 50s and 60s.
And Lymington, before I let you go, I mean, you've lived there, as you say, all your life. Yeah. How do you sum it up? Because we've been doing lots of shows about, for example, what makes a good town centre and so on, and mixtures of shops and so on. It's got all that, hasn't it?
It has. It's kept its charm. It's got its appeal, and I think that's the main thing. We get a lot of visitors, obviously, but overall, it's still a nice place to live.
Well, I can end this interview with the words, thank you for having me, than the other way around.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
It's a long time ago.
It's been a long time. This is a very, very long time ago. Mike Race, who, by the way, also wrote to the paper once, I remember, when I won an award. Do you remember you did that?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, it was very nice of you. Mike Race, joining us live on BBC Radio Summit. If you're coming along at the weekend to Leamington, enjoy. And, of course, now you know how to get in touch as well. Mike, good to see you.
Okay.
8:45.